So prepare. Brace yourself for the GH Super Clash, live and exclusive and in high definition on Star Times, Adepa, channel 247 this Sunday. Don't miss it. Watch the GH Super Clash. Simply visit Google Play Store and download the Star Times on app.
Asante Kotoko say, yeah, yeah. Asante Kotoko say, yeah, yeah. Asante Kotoko, yeah. Asante Kotoko, yeah.
Very interesting, mouth-watering. We always say all roads lead to not yet the, destination. That can be a Cape Coast, and Accra, Sunyane, Adriana, Doma. This weekend we're saying all roads lead to Kumasi, Babayara, and that's true because on Friday, as I said, we did in action in the Continental, Cup, that is the Champions League, and then on Saturday. Just about half an hour's drive from Babayara, you go to Abrankese. It's Adriana versus another team that's really knocking on the top four nations. And then on Sunday, it's the big one, of course, the super clash between Hearts and Kotoko. It's Hearts of Oak's home game. They've opted for Babayara as their adopted home grounds, and their fans are relatively happy about that because they reckon historically they do well or do better at the Babayara Sports Stadium. And if you look at the narratives, the Hearts of Oak have picked Kotoko a few times, 1-0, 1-0. But if you look at the most recent ones, it's been tight. You don't see the 4-0. I don't think these two gentlemen, Dane, do you know where they are? Ache.
To be honest.
As for Josiah, I don't know if he was even born. But there was
in recent times, it looks like Hearts. I don't know what
very narrow.
Results
Obin to me share more than 2 goals. The last time was in
2017.
2020, 2-1.
House of Folk winning 1-0. 2017 it was 1-1. 2018 House winning 1-0 against Kotoko, and of course 2020 Kotoko winning by 2-1. So that is 1 win for Asante Kotoko there. Goalless draw in 2021. House of Folk 1-0 win against Kotoko in 2021. Goalless draw in 2022, Kotoko 1-0 win against House of Folk. That is the goal that Fabio Gama scored for Kotoko, and 1-1 last season in Kumasi, and of course 1-0 for House of Folk in Accra. So it looks like in recent times, House of Folk are more than on Kotoko. It was Accra, but most of the games are ending in a draw. That is where you can see. It's not beyond 2 goals. It's only one occasion that Kotoko won by 2-1. That is 2020. And that has been the scoreline between Kotoko and Hearts. The rest 1-0, 1-1. That is the scoreline between Kotoko and Hearts. So in recent times, it looks like Hearts can hold in on Kotoko. But this time things may change.
Yeah, and obviously, almost say Hearts, it doesn't really reflect the form guide. Kotoko. So if they are leading on the table, my Hearts, they're more hungry to overtake them, and this is the situation. Kotoko,
but when Hearts is on form, they find a way to beat Kotoko.
Yes. When it's the other way around,
that is the way the situation is
difficult.
This time when things will change.
What shows?
I said it on Sunday.
Hearts of Oak, press conference.
GPA headquarters. Kotoko will win on Sunday.
But somewhere press conference, it's actually ongoing now.
Yeah.
And they're having a family meeting. They had one in. They will have one in Kumasi. That's Hearts of Oak.
The chapters committee is meeting today, 3 p.m. So it's already started in Kumasi, and they want to join hands. Sure, say House of Oak, beat Kumasi Kotoko. Even House of Oak, anytime the supporters meet, try to do something in favor the team. House of Oak football.
But what is almost say is just 1 goal. I know that Hearts fans don't. Okay, there'll be a 1 goal margin.
There will be more than 1 goal.
Sir,
there will be more than 1
Josiah,
goal.
what have you heard?
Yeah, there's quite a lot going on. Heart of Oak. I think this morning, even on the sports park, we spoke to a former Heart of Oak player who is a club legend, Amankwamriku, and he spoke about the fact that he's even on his way to Kumasi because he has to meet the playing body have a word with them, try to motivate them and tell them that, see, this is a game they can win. Because normally we've come to understand and also accept that games like this is not dependent on who is on form or who is playing the best or the better football, but then it's about who shows more desire and hunger on a day, and that's what the game has been about. Last season, we remember what happened when Hearts of Oak, came from a goal down to equalize in the dying embers of the game through a Caleb Amankwa header, and also in the reverse fixture, it was a 1-0 win. Kuledu Yadom getting them the goal over there. So it's all more about who is hungrier, who wants to win it, who wants to get the 3 points on the day.
And the selection must be right. If you get your selection right, it looks like Hearts of Oak have more options when it comes to players coming off the bench to perhaps make an impact.
No, but in the last 3 games, I think that narrative has been for Kotoko. It best suits Kotoko, because you look at the game they won at Sogakope against Legon Cities, and it was that halftime triple substitution from the coach that changed everything for them. And ever since, it looks like they've had more players coming off the bench. But then also, yes, you can make a case for Hearts of Oak, because in that game they played against Accra Lions, the last time they won in the league, it was Lamponsa who came off the bench, to score. Then they played against Brekum Chelsea, 2 game weeks ago, and also they had another player coming off the bench, to score for them. So yes, maybe at some point it could be cagey. These starting players could cancel each other out, but then it depends on what you have on the bench. Maybe the difference maker could come off the bench of either team, to make the difference on a day. There's a game that is not dependent on anything. See, you cannot use any calculation, any metrics, any data, to predict the outcome. It just depends on what happens on a day, and it's going to be very, very nervy. We've seen games between Hearts and Kotoko get so nervy, and yes, it's going to be at the Barbara Sports Stadium in Kumasi, but trust me, I think the Hearts of Oak fans will turn up on a day.
And at the moment, of course, Kotoko went through a blip. They lost 3 games in a row, 2 of those captured on the screen there, but then they've turned things around with gaining momentum. I wouldn't say it's been spectacular, but it's been good enough for the fans to begin to start having, to say at the end, confidence back, but it's still not spectacular Kotoko as we know them when they're dominating.
Yeah, obviously, but things may change. I think gradually they are picking up in the Ghana Premier League. And it looks like the teamwork is coming right from their defense to their midfield to their attack. Their style of play, the coach is getting the best out of some of these players. So as time goes on, you will see the best out of Kotoko. And this time round, Asante Kotoko will sit on the away side, and of course, Hearts of Oak bets not the home side. So that will be the difference at the Baba Sports.
And you're very interested.
Very important.
Yeah, and our fans, if you go to social media, they're saying that, it's good. It's a good omen for Kotoko. Why would it be a good omen? Hearts of Oak using Baba as their home grounds. A good omen. So it's said anytime, home and away.
Obviously, I think Asante Kotoko is in a super form. They are playing good football.
Oh, in super form.
They are playing well.
Really?
When you watch their game against Nations FC in the FA Cup, and their game they won against Brekum Chelsea. Brekum Chelsea was one of the best teams in the Ghana Premier League.
The opposition don't take their chances.
Hearts is not playing well.
They are playing well, but I won't say super form. And I won't play super.
It's better for football club.
Anyway.
Initially, Hearts was playing well.
The 2 clubs.
But in the last 4 or 5 games, it looks like
I still think the 2 clubs are below their standard.
Obviously, standard are falling. Yeah. Between the 2 clubs, for Kotoko and Hearts, standard are falling. 2 teams in here, to the standard that no be expected to say they will play in the Ghana Premier League and of course the FA Cup. But for the past 2-3 games, it looks like for Kotoko's own is quite okay. Coach Ninya the best out of the players now. You saw me the Richmond Lamte is doing well. Sarif Mohammed is doing well.
Maybe we're over exaggerating Hearts' bad form. In their last 5, they've only lost 1, and Doma is a very difficult venue for any team. It's not like they've been so bad. They've lost just 1 in their last 5.
Yeah, in your last submission, you were talking about standards, and the Heart of Oak standards, they're what we've known them, to do. It's dropped. And see, out of an available 15 points, they picked up only 8. That's a little above what average for them, and that's not good enough. Yes, we know it's early stages, but we are only 4 games away from the end of the first round, so we can't just still sit and say, see, it's early stages. Game in, game out, or game week, after game week, we keep on edging towards the end of the season. And each game week provides an opportunity for this team to turn things around. Yes, you spoke about the fact that Omokodoma, it becomes very, very difficult for them. They've not won in Doma or even picked up a point in Doma in the last 4 seasons in the Ghana Premier League. So they know, yes, it's a very, very bad place. You know, not a good place for them to go. But then, yeah, it's about how you turn things around for yourself. And playing against Kotoko will give them another opportunity to at least catch up, you know, that point, 3-point gap between themselves and their bitterest rivals. Not to talk about who or those on top of them. They'll be hoping that at least maybe Ediana could drop points, because Ediana will be traveling to Abrankese to play against Nations FC, and that could also give them Nations the opportunity to close in. So it's more like, see, you win, you are able to leapfrog 3-4 teams, you know, it's catapult you on the log, and that's what they should be looking at doing. Kotoko are in a very, very comfortable, I wouldn't even say comfortable position, but then when you look at the mini league between themselves and Heart of Oak, they are 3 points ahead of Heart of Oak.
3 points is nothing.
It's nothing. So this could be a 6-pointer, because if they win, they'll be 6 points ahead of Heart of Oak. If Heart of Oak should win this one, then they close in on Kotoko. So
and that could revive their season.
It could revive everything. Yeah, it would revive everything. So yeah, going into I think the 3 points, you know, it's huge for both teams, and I think they'll both be going for it.
No doubt. It's good that they'll both be going for it. And the fact of it, no doubt about it.
That is why I have problem with, you know, the kind of, you know, euphoria around the game. It looks like almost shaping up enthusiasm in time, because Kotoko has game by Thursday, Friday, you know, it looks like patronage in the way a form for me. Previously, from Monday to the Sunday that game, you know, you will see say BBI is what about Kotoko has taxi drivers, you know, various ex-players, and of course PRO and all stuff.
Match day is Sunday. Trust me, from tomorrow, once Midiama is out of the equation in terms of Omobot no Muwiniria, that would even give momentum for Sunday.
We've had this thing, you know, time without number. Gone were the days where you'd see cars
the whole week.
No, the whole week. It starts from a Monday. You know, once the last game week ends, then this one begins with Art versus Kotoko. And I think maybe we're also not doing enough as the media. I believe, see, the onus also lies on us, you and I, to also try and, try and whip up the enthusiasm in the average, football lover, to also try and catch, some interest. At least it needs to look enticing for the average football lover to also feel that, see, this is the biggest football game on the Ghanaian football calendar. When it's not Black Stars, it's Hearts and Kotoko.
Yeah. And, since time immemorial, you look at the head-to-head. Surprisingly that, Kotoko have had 5, but as Nanedu recently said, in recent times, momentum has swung out my hearts kakra in a little bit. 7 of those games had been drawn, but 13 matches played. And if you look at the position now, in terms of head-to-head, 7th and 8th, I mean, there's every aspect is very tight.
That is what we are season we see this particular season. Obia got 13 games, but Hearts of Oak can be a Kotoko Edano. But it looks like, Kaka. So things may change after this particular weekend game. And when we look at how things are going, by this time, the circus chairman and circus leadership, chapters leadership, they should move to the various radio stations, TV stations, try say game who did Mobian said there was a big game about Kumasi. Previously, the likes of Kanewu, Shomokwe, and those people were doing those things for the clubs, Kotoko and Hearts. By this time, I mean, who's in town. So
in Accra or Kumasi?
Especially in Accra.
So much in Kumasi.
But at least first, both Kumasi and Accra, you will see those things. But this time, I'm not really seeing those things when it comes to Kotoko and Hearts. It's rather they are relying on the media to do those things for them. But they stay different, but I think they should do something about it.
Who should do something about it?
The clubs.
They are. Say no more press conference. They will Kumasi. The venue is Kumasi, and then the train moves from Accra and other regions to Kumasi, and then this weekend is packed. It's a football festival, GPL and Champions League. I'm sure it's a bubble.
So maybe after the Champions League, it'll.
After the Champions League, we just have 2 days. Let's be very honest with ourselves. Let's try and assess what we've done, as a unit, or individually, to to make the noise. I don't think it's been, you know, the euphoria and everything has been great. But then, yeah, yes, 2 more days to go. Maybe we have to be optimistic and hope that it could
trust
get
me,
better.
when it's Hearts Kotoko and they announce the venue at midnight, the next day they will turn up. That's the fans. That's just the way it is. Maybe what you're saying is that the media, but social media, you might be misled because the media are under no obligation to do that. As you're saying, the clubs themselves are supposed to, you know, whip up enthusiasm. You see the scenes. You know, they know exactly how to whip it up. But I'm sure, and we've had some poor attendances after COVID, but hopefully that will change as soon as, you know, action time starts. 24 hours to go, 48 hours to go in Kumasi.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully. And, you know, and also because the game will be happening in Kumasi or taking place in Kumasi, maybe we'll be expecting a different, you know, attendance over there. Just like you said, I think post-COVID, we've not really seen encouraging crowds, you know, at games like this. But yeah, this is the biggest game we have as far as our local football calendar is concerned. And I think there's been some great moments. You know, yes, you can talk about the factors contributing to that, but then, yeah, that's something that we can improve upon.
Or being junior, what's happened to, he has experience, you know, in these games, but we're not too sure if he'll be, well, he's been missing. No.
He's struggling. You know, Oshe has team now or struggle. This particular season, he has also about more than 5 games for House of Football Club. I hear all around Kasala Ramos, Hamza Issa, Salif Ibrahim, you know, Albert Yonde up front. Most of the times we don't see being junior playing most games for House of Football Club. The last time I started a game for House of Folk is a game against Indiana Stars, his former club. And this particular season, on time started game in House of Folk, and it's a major problem for House of Folk Football Club. One of the experienced guys in the team, not getting more playing time in the House of Folk team. Look at their striking department. Apart from Hamza Issa, Kasara Ramos has scored only 1 goal for House of Folk this particular season. So it tells you, say, almost struggling in terms of players scoring goals from all angles for House of Folk Football Club. So these are key areas. When you look at their back 4, apart from Michael Ampedu, the right back, on any House of Folk game this particular season in the Premier League, the rest of them changes upon changes. So it tells you almost need consistent playing for each position in the team. So they are struggling to raise players to be consistent for House of Folk Football Club. That is what is going on in the club.
And the coaching department, obviously, technically, you have to get it right. Your tactics, everything is. Oklu has been on the side.
Yeah.
He's back at the fabulous side. Yeah. So he's one person who perhaps would have an insight, as well as Ogum, as against Hearts of Oak's new makeshift technical team.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, I'd really feel for Coach Bash Tijani because, yeah, that's the biggest game he's ever managed, you know, as a coach, despite being the interim.
This is
the audition. This is
the motivation for him.
Grand audition for him to at least try and convince Hearts of Folk fans, see, I'm the right man for the job. Yeah, they've had some, you know, embarrassing results. The one against Nanya in the FA Cup, it was so embarrassing, so shameful for them. And then also that defeat to Indiana Stars at Doma. But then this is the game that could turn everything around for him. Maybe perhaps, see, after a win, you know, most of these, you know, board members could even vouch for him that, see, let's give the job to him. You quite remember last season after Matic, you know, was sacked or whatever happened to Matic, it was Oklu at his first game in charge against Kotoko. Yeah. And after that win, the fans felt like, see, this is the man who can get the job done.
And what happened?
Until eventually, you know, things just, you know, went.
You know, they have this new coach syndrome where normally when a new coach comes,
in big games, especially in big games.
Players will like
in
to
games
get
like this.
time.
That's right.
So the other one will like to improve.
And the new coach himself would be bold to try new things.
It's always the pep talk for me. And you'll be wondering what he'll be telling the players ahead of a clash like this, especially coming at the back of defeat, you know, to Nanya FC and also to Indiana Stars. You know, and he knows, and it looks like, you know, Hearts of Folk playing at the Barbara Sports Stadium offers them that nothing to lose tag. Because one, we are relatively, our form is not, you know, superior to that of Kotokos. And then also we are playing at their own backyard. Yeah, they could stick to that. Yes, the Barbara is our home. We feel comfortable over there. We get goals and all that. But yeah, see, on the more serious note, you look at everything on paper and you feel like, see, they have nothing to lose going into this game. Because once they lose, could be like, okay, yeah, we need a substantive coach. The coach over there was an assistant coach, you know, who was promoted to an interim position as a head coach and blah, blah, blah. So I just believe, yes, they could go into this game thinking we have nothing to lose. We are playing away from home, you know, at the Baba Sports Stadium, where that home is Kotoko's, you know, favorite grounds. That's their home ground. So yeah, maybe those are the factors they should be looking at, and it could help them.
Most of the times, you know, it's dangerous when House of Folk is going to face Asante Kotoko. It's immediately you see old players coming together, supporters leadership coming together, try to throw support behind House of Folk Football Club. It's always dangerous for Kotoko. Well, in a way of paving the way, making sure Messi can hear.
In the past.
They know a lot of things around it. Has decided somewhere, yes, I am much more than Asante Kotoko.
Interesting.
And any Kotoko has game, what be the decades and one a tie show most of the times.
But we mean, Shadow who said
lie low.
They are not too
lie low.
Right.
Maybe from tomorrow going things may change. Most of the times Kotoko has game, what be the decades and one out tie loose. So Obie who strategy and the first Kotoko has game. So when you go to the supporters angle, the S players angle, the chapters and the circus leadership angle, they are all finding a way they can get a good result on Sunday. So I'm sure by this, and that is the reason why most of them have decided somewhere on a quiet note. But Sunday, things may change. I think currently they've done a great job. Their team gradually picking up, but they are struggling in the league. Results, they might say they are more penal, but maybe things may change.
Maybe things may change. Yeah, we'll activate the phone lines and, you know, give us your predictions. Nana Edu has stuck his head. I didn't even ask him. He's already said that Kotoko Besha Hearts. I don't know where he's been, what he's seen, but I know they're sick Kotoko Besha Hearts on Sunday. What do you think? You know, what Hearts of Oak are making moves. They are going places. They are getting together. Old players are coming round. They're rallying. You know, they're mobilizing buses from all over Ghana to do that. But wherever you are in the world, you know, I've been getting messages already. Where can you watch it? Of course, Star Times. So you can download the Star Times on app. Just go to Google Play Store and download the Star Times on app. And you're as good as, you know, bingo. You're as good as gold. You're good to go for the match on Sunday on Star Times. But key players. You see, these are the kind of matches where unsung heroes can just... You expect the big boys and they don't show up.
Yeah, last time it was Yadom. From nowhere, it was just Yadom's towering header. You know, that got Hearts of Oak the winner. And yeah, like you rightly said, in games like this, maybe, you know, the matchmen, the leading, you know, scorers for both teams could be cancelled out because they know that these are the most dangerous men, you know, from the opposing team. So let's try as much as we can to mark them out. You remember that Eric Bekoe incident, you know, where, you know, the Hearts of Oak defenders try all they could to just mark him out of the game because they know how dangerous he is. So sometimes it's the other players around him. I call them the supporting cast. You know, normally those who do not have so much pressure on them, those who have not been taxed, you know, to get the goals. Yeah, we are looking at two players who are on form, or yeah, for Hearts of Oak and Kotoko. And talking about Kotoko, see, it looks like Mukwala has hit form at the right time for his club. Starting the game against Legon Cities at Sogakope, where he was involved in all 3 goals. He set up his teammate Isaac Opon. He scored 1 and he forced an own goal. Now going into that FA Cup game against Nations, he was involved in all 4 again. And then, you know, in their last game, he also got them the winner in that one.
Okay, so let's go to our first caller, Francis from Kumasi. Francis, good evening, XSA. Francis, oh, hello?
Hello.
Yep. Yeah, you into it. You're in 10. What's your prediction? Oh, it looks like Francis. Yeah. But yeah, sorry. The number is on the screen, 055 846 2088. And no doubt the fans in Kumasi will be almost at par. Kotoko have a slight advantage of numbers, but Hearts fans in Kumasi and those traveling almost match up to Kotoko.
A lot of them in Kumasi, yeah. There are quite a lot. And you know, even the footage.
They travel well.
They travel very, very well, especially when they know that, you know, their team is not going to play at their favorite Accra Sports Stadium. They know that, see, that's the best they can do to offer support to the team on the road, far away in Kumasi. And they're, like you said, I think teams, you know, people or fans around around Kumasi or Boise, all these neighboring towns would love to travel and go and support their team over there. But then back to players who could make the difference on the day. Yeah, let's not forget that Hamza Issa is a leading top scorer for Hearts of Oak as well. He scored some good goals for them that has won them points this season.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's go to Ashaiman now, where Olivia's on the line. Hi, Olivia. Good evening to you. Hello.
Hello, Brian.
Yes, Olivia, we're listening to you.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
If I thought Uncle Jude one, you know.
Uncle Jude, I'll call assignments, Kakra. Remember?
Okay, what is that? But the other shot, come to my shop for Amunyadi. Into a cow, right? Amunyadi. Bye-bye. Could I not say?
Yo, yes, yeah, that's bye-bye. Yeah. Also, you are right. Hearts, Kotoko Hearts. So I would imagine assuming she's a Kotoko fan. I could be wrong, but that's it. Let's have your view. I like the way she kept it very short and simple. The ladies don't normally call, but they started to call. That's one thing about this.
Yes, Kotoko
replica jerseys, number jeans. It's a fashion thing, and social media will be a competition between. Okay, let's go back to Kumasi. Paya, good evening. Okay. What's it called? Commercial at one pair. Right. Okay. Yo, bye bye. Yeah. That's the base. That's the spiritual base, right?
Yeah, it's a spiritual base, and honor. Konfanochi fi. You know Konfanochi.
Yes, of course.
Yes. The Konfanochi. Honofi. Inti Asante for any the history about Konfanochi.
But Hearts for so Omoko Newtown. Omako that they've gone to
Accra Newtown. That is where the oak tree is. But most of the Asante people believe in Konfanochi.
So it will be Konfanochi versus Newtown.
That is what they believe.
The oak tree.
Konfanochi there are a lot of things.
I saw Konfanochi uses the axe to cut down the oak tree.
Most of the time, that is what they talk about. And one person, there are a lot of things he did for Asante Mine. So most of the people believe when they go to Ukuga, that is where they will get the luck for Asante Kotoko to win against Hearts of Oak Football Club. So may assure most of this
it's not Ofi Ekrapim Ukuga. I want Ofi and Oko.
Konfanochi. It's not
Mako Sanctuary.
Onya Santini.
Yeah, Ofi
Ekrapim Ukuga.
And Oko.
Yes. And it got to a time because of what he was doing in life. Unze no or a lot of things.
Right.
Ukuga. No, did they so I can't read no. But it's up to now. Ukuga, you see that they road there.
I've been there.
It's one of them.
Now me call as tourist.
For this year, or the Bobato, or done no worry.
Right.
Up to now, when you go to Ukuga, how I know. That is where I'm out for Kofa Lak. I didn't know. So most of the circus industry, they go there, they still drink water from that thing to make sure it brings luck to us and to football club.
Next time, the comment, me trying to. But this is all the fun of it. You see how he's also bringing the spiritual side. But like I said, and man, they'll be wearing their Kotoko replica.
Yeah.
It will be all, fashion statements. I'm sure Mutala tomorrow will wear Kotoko in the morning. Then you wear hats.
Then
try to be neutral. Yeah.
You wear medium.
I guess so. Yeah. So keep it short, snappy, and witty, and your predictions. All right, let's go back on the line. Francis, good evening. Ezane.
Hello.
Yes, it's you, Francis.
Francis Yaw Ampofo. Mekase free Amasamai.
All right.
Kotoko has 1-0.
Kotoko Hearts 1-0.
Yeah.
Okay, why did you go no?
What's it?
Who scored the goal? Uganda. Mukwala, Uganda. Okay. But that's why. Thank you. That's interesting. All the callers are rooting for Asante Kotoko so far, which is quite unusual. Not well, maybe because of the current form.
Yeah, but the most consistent thing we keep hearing is one.
Because Charlie,
but this time it will be more than one.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. If care is not taken, that 4-0 that has to focus anytime you're boosting, it could happen this Sunday in Kumasi. If care is not taken.
Oh. How?
That 4-0 most of the time.
Kotoko Hearts 4.
Yeah.
I see.
If care is not taken, that thing could happen on Sunday.
Now, Hearts form so much Kotoko. I say Ombeji 4.
Kotoko will win on Sunday.
All right. Felicia, hello.
Yes.
That is say.
Yàrá do me ya na muso e.
Bibia Bokona. Yes, you best Hearts. Bibri, one shidi.
Hearts best Kotoko. Hearts ni Kotoko na ya form na mudibo.
Catch on.
Hearts best Kotoko Kumasi. E won say Hearts obo home Kumasi. Hearts best Kotoko. E don fa to amutu say Hearts best Kotoko. Hearts ni Kotoko no and ya form na mudibo.
I see. Okay. Felicia, thank you very much. Yeah, we know that in terms of form guide, it can be deceptive. To say Madrid, Barca sometimes, Liverpool, Manchester United, and any other, regional from different, it could be like that. But anything can happen on Sunday.
Yeah, but you can't also, neglect form going to, because we've even spoken about, the form guide already.
Okay, sorry, let's go to New Ningo, and Maxwell is on the line. Maxwell, good evening. How are you?
Hello.
Hello, Maxwell. Yeah, we're listening to you.
Yeah, I'm calling from New Ningo.
Okay, go ahead.
Hearts is going to score Kotoko by a goal to nil.
Okay. Yeah, you are confident, right? Okay, okay. So everybody's mentioning one goal project.
Yeah.
Nobody's confident, apart from this guy saying that Ibia Kotoko shot 3-4 goals.
For the last 10 meetings between these two sides, we've seen that I think 7 of those games have seen one or fewer goals. That's 7 out of the last 10 games they've played. It's been either 0-0 or 1-0 to either side. And then there's been just a couple of
2-1.
1-1, just 1-2-1 and
2000.
So you can see that. See, it's just
let's go to Samuel. He's calling from Kofridria in the eastern region. Samuel, good evening.
Yeah, rather we are Sunday. Kotoko has 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah,
Against Hearts of Oak, go.
Yeah.
But what
First Hearts best, but Kotoko try balance 2-1.
Okay, but what is the Hearts? Omako Newtown. Omako Newtown. It means they are very serious, Okay, maybe he's off, but it's all the fun, right? Aukugwa stroke.
No, the last time I think after commentary at the stadium, I spoke to one fan, Heart of Oak fan, and he spoke, bitterly about the fact that some certain practices within the club, in recent times have changed.
No, a Hearts.
Yeah, he's a Hearts fan, and he says,
okay,
even back then they never allowed a woman into the dressing room, but it looks like all these things have changed, and who knows, maybe that could also be a factor.
Interesting. 055-846-2088. Apirigu Chakapama. That's what he said. We'll listen to him in a bit. But let us have your thoughts on the match. It will kick off at 3. But Apirigu, let's hear from Apirigu Chakapama.
Kasa wunim, semi kase Kotoko for no wunim. So mushia has a foka. Ayana omunya easy, omu fun easy. Yeah, you be pinium very deep to the ground. Now, guess what? Ya show me 4-1 pain. Oh yeah, some bet me at ka, but omo ntumi on be share 3-1 or so. But yeah, planning, yes, your bar che with dry. No, see. It yeah, planning say 4 na show mono. Yeah, plan is a bit to me 5 and answer 6 dear mom.
Grace Bakope Mia Mini Asante Kotoko, Ukuma Pembeba. But they say Apirigu Chakapama, Jan and so much 4-1, 5-1 adekosia, and only their number. And who boy, yes, no, any Hokeka. Kumasi Asante Kotoko ya de bano, and ya de 20 House of Folk, Munjina on Kotoko for Yeba.
Okay. Hearts and Kotoko fans, obviously Chakapama very confident. They'll be going by a bus over the weekend. Let's go back on the phone line to Kumasi. Hello. Okay, Ibia. Nana Dakwa is also there. He's gone ahead, of course. We'll get him later on. Yeah, but the permutations, obviously, ticket prices are reasonable. Yes, we
20 CD for popular stand there.
Yeah, it's reasonable.
Involving Kotoko and Hearts,
yes.
Just 20 CD. You can watch Kotoko and Hearts.
Especially
20, 30, 60, 100.
Champions League,
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Popular stand, medium.
Yeah,
It's not bad. Whoever wins will be chopping the brunia. That's what they're saying. This is the Christmas, early Christmas. So whoever wins will start the Christmas from Sunday.
Yeah, Christmas comes early for
the winner.
The winner of this game. Trust me, and you get to have the bragging right, for a very long time till the reverse fixture.
Okay, back to Kumasi. Israel is on the line. Hi, Israel. Good evening. Are you there? No? Israel, okay. We'll get Israel on the line when he's ready. Yeah, obviously, look.
Yeah, it's about the bragging rights.
And the motivation.
It's about the bragging rights. See, Hearts, if both teams fail to win the league title this season, the mini title within all four, either of these teams is to be the other team. Yeah, and trust me, if they should do it, if Hearts should get the win, they would really savor, the win for a long time till they get to meet again.
Okay, let's try Israel again. Israel, can you hear me now? Good evening.
Hello.
All right, ET.
Hello.
Yes, Israel, it's you.
Me patrol me say, and I know what to boy. So best I will be sad. They are with me as a house. But one more sabo ni be mu dia. On to me se kotoko bi.
Okay.
So kotoko bo sabo ni the best house. One more sabo ni dia. On to me se house. Because house no ban. Na ni abere.
Kotoko ne
I kotoko eti. But bo na no na efe. So bo sabo ni dia. Obese house bediri. And you work and no more sabo na bi ma. Enya sa de emfa.
Yo, but that's why, Israel, thank you. Yeah, but I never going to say, Hearts is not like the other clubs. That's what the fans should understand. Say, Hearts, even if they are relegation threatened, I'm with a different Adrian neighbor. So, form guide and shut that and play out.
Yeah,
this could be a different scenario.
It's a different scenario. See, yes, sometimes because the form guide doesn't really count, it's irrelevant and all that. But sometimes see. It helps, and it builds confidence going into a game like this. That's why I just opposed two teams, and I see Kotoko in a more confident mood than Hearts of Oak. Why? Because they've won their last 4 games in all competitions. As against Hearts of Oak, who are yet or winless in their last 4. So sometimes it's very, very important. It boosts the confidence of these players, and I can tell you, emphatically that Kotoko players are in a better shape, psychologically and confidence-wise, because they know that, we are winning. We've not dropped points in our last 4 games. We are coming up against a team that are struggling. They've not even appointed a substantive manager. There are issues here and there within the club. So, maybe it's also time for them to take advantage of the fact that Hearts of Oak are struggling and, they are winless in their last 4 games.
All right. But I remember, look, when Hearts went to BBNE, everybody thought they'll be, slaughtered by Gold Stars, who were then on a good run. They almost beat Gold Stars over there with probably their best performance, and then they, started coming back. So for them, they're not going to sit down for Hearts to. Let's go to the Western Region. Second D, Sammy is on the line. Hello, Sammy. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
Yes.
This season, one man to put well, will lose 2 goals per 1 game. We will lose out 1-0. Boba draw 1-1. Draw. Until one man to put well, will lose 2 goals. Ever get a match has for making has 1 more year. Quando vou utilizar, ou vai já, olha bem, 1 year.
Okay.
Because actually, has a league 2 goals. And you catch your penalty.
All right. Yo, Yadasi, thank you very much. Our man there from Second D. Adra Speed is, Adumako, she's watching. She says hi to you guys. You know her? Yeah, she's been doing a lot for the GPL. We say hi back to you. But let's take a look at this. If somebody wants to find out where to watch the game, it's very easy. Just go to Google, Play Store and download the Star Times on app, and you can watch it anywhere at all. So let's take a look at this and give us a reminder of what we have to do.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action! It's the biggest game in the Ghana Premier League. It's a battle of wills, a battle of minds, guts and passion, brawn and power. It's coming, so prepare. Brace yourself for the GH Super Clash, live and exclusive and in high definition on Star Times, Adepa, channel 247 this Sunday. Don't miss it. Watch the GH Super Clash. Simply visit Google Play Store and download the Star Times on app.
Asante Kotoko say, yeah, yeah. Asante Kotoko say, yeah, yeah. Asante Kotoko, yeah. Asante Kotoko, yeah.
All right, welcome back. This time, Waya Chado and Stephen. Is it Stephen? Yeah, Stephen is on the line. Hello, Stephen. Good evening.
I'm on the line so far.
Yep, we're listening to you.
How to score a penalty?
Okay, that's it. You don't want to predict the scoreline.
Let's have 1-0 at penalty.
1-0.
Almost to 8 minutes. How to score by penalty?
Penalty. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, let me see if Nana Dakwa is in Kumasi. He's preparing. He's going around, get the vibe, you know. Let's see if we can get him on. Once he unmutes, maybe we'll be lucky to get a vibe of what's happening in Kumasi at least 72 hours before. It's more than 72 hours before the game on Sunday. The game is on Sunday, remember, at 3 p.m. There. Nana, I just say, what's the main car? And that's how I've been to your voice. I can see you, but I can also see you.
I can hear you clear.
See, what's going on?
Well, I'm at the Kumasi Stadium right now. The for the game just left the Kumasi Stadium pitch. Now, young Africans are training as a cup mandatory requirement before kickoff, 24 hours before the kickoff. And so they are training currently. And I was on the pitch, but just before they came, they actually go out because they wanted to have a private training session. So currently they are training. The two teams have all had their, press conferences ahead of the game, and they've indicated their readiness for the big game later on tomorrow. If Mediama wins this game, it defines their chances of qualifying into the knockout stages of the competition. Have so far not won a game in the competition, and that produces a very tense test for Mediama later on tomorrow. The good news for Mediama is that their striker Jonathan Soa is back in the team after missing the first game against Belize that year, and so some have said it's going to provide some selection worries for Coach Evans, I would say. But only on any day when Soa is fit, it's expected to be your man to lead the charges. It's been an interesting week for Mediama in Kumasi. They've been training in the last 1 week. And the good news for Mediama is that the paramount chief of the Sakwa dumping area is purchasing 1,000 tickets for the fans in Kumasi to come. Former player Akwesi Donso have also purchased 100 tickets for the fans who will be coming to watch the game here. And Mediama themselves, as a way of Thanksgiving, have reduced the rate for the game drastically for all fans to be able to attend the game here in Kumasi on Sunday. The Tanzanians have also been in Ghana in the last 3 days. They trained at the Dichamto Astro Step for 2 days, and today they are going to train at the Baba Yara Sports. As I speak to you, they are currently training, and after they finish training at 5 p.m., Mediama also come and train. That's why we're going to have an idea of which players that Coach Evans Adote will parade in for the big game later on tomorrow. I know you guys were discussing Hasselhoek and Kotoko. For them, there's a lot to talk about them because the Hasselhoek National Chapters Committee are currently having a press conference with the Kumasi media and, you know, the entire Ghanaian media to spell out their plans for the big game on Sunday. You know, this is an unusual game for the Phobians because they have adopted the Kumasi Sports Stadium as their home ground for the game because the Accra Stadium is not available for the month of December as the Premier League game continues. So there's excitement in the Ashanti region this weekend. Mediama will raise the curtains tomorrow. Nations and Adriana will play on Saturday. Then the big one on Super Sunday will be the Super Clash between Asante Kotoko and Hasselhoek.
Nana, thank you so much for that updates. Permission to go and enjoy your fufu. That's Nana Dakwa live from Babayara Sports Stadium, obviously touching on Midiama and Yanga at 4 p.m. And then on Saturday, as you can see there, Nations versus Adriana at 3 p.m. at Brankese. And then on Sunday, the Super Clash, Hearts versus Asante Kotoko. Thank you very much. Josiah Okokwe and Nana Edu will be bringing you a wrap from the Babayara tomorrow and throughout the countdown throughout the weekend. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye for now.